Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/ProRevenge, where OP's cheating ex-wife got a visit from karma. Let's begin. My girlfriend and best friend used to be friends with benefits. Posted by Reddit user Snoo Opinions.
I just found this out a few days ago, and it's been making me have second thoughts about my relationship. A few days ago, I started snooping through my girlfriend's phone as she went to grab something from the store by our apartment. This gave me about 25 to 30 minutes to go through it. I never have before, but my curiosity just got the best of me. I open up Instagram and go through her messages, and as I'm scrolling, I get to 2018 and see my best friend's Instagram, and I open it. I didn't get to read the whole thing because it seems like they were doing this for about 7 months straight. To get to the point, basically my best friend didn't want to take my now girlfriend serious. And they ended it because he ended up finding another girl that he liked more and wanted to take it serious with her. But as I was reading more into when they were flirting, my girlfriend would say some very explicit things she would like for him to do, like to finish in her mouth, to choke her, etc. She would be begging in the messages for him to come boink her. She would constantly send him explicit memes of what she wanted him to do, and he would respond with, "Did you like when I stuck my pee-pee down your throat and stuffed my schlong in your beaver?" Where she then responded, "I can't stop thinking about it, and my cat is wet, just replaying it in my head. I can't describe the feeling I'm feeling, other than disgust and my stomach just turning." But this was not the worst part. Apparently my friend has a few tapes that they made together, and she asked for it to keep in safe place for whenever she wants to watch them. I did not have enough time to look for them on her phone. But for the past few days, I have been sick and have lost so much of my feelings and attraction to her. It's been 5+ years, and they did do this before me and her met. But I'm also upset my best friend never told me. It feels as if he did this to always have a one-up on me and for her to be close to him still, because she knows that's my best friend. Am I the asshole for wanting to call this off, even though it happened before we dated?
OP, the fact that your best friend never told you once he found out the two of you were dating tells me that their relations never stopped in the first place. Also, if he truly was your friend, you would have been informed the very second he found out. Ditch them both, man. They're not worth it. And now for today's second story. My psycho ex gets my egoless revenge with a side of heavy-duty karma. Posted by Reddit user HeyMomo7.
The following story occurred over the course of 8 to 13 years ago, and I apologize preemptively for the length, because it is a bit involved. I was in a relationship for 9 years with a girl I met in college. We broke up on the cusp of my 29th birthday. While breakups and divorce are never trauma-free, this one was as close to that as I believe is humanly possible to get. There were no fights and minimal drama, and I moved to a new city to get a fresh start and be nearer my dad, stepmom, and half-sisters, as I'm close to them, and it was nice to have family during this. Get an apartment, start over, everything's good. Then I meet her. Things with her seemed good at first. She was the polar opposite of my ex. She's quiet yet nice, had her life relatively together. My first wife was very unfocused and horrible with money, physically a complete contrast. Wild in the bedroom, I thought I had hit the jackpot. Anyhow, I fall for her hard. We have a whirlwind romance, move in shortly, and we have this glamorous life where we make good money. She was a corporate accountant, I had a decent small business. We're pulling in 150,000+ combined, renting a luxury apartment, one car paid and the other brand new, no kids. Things are great, except that we drink too much together and some other underlying issues I'm blind to at the time. We get soused one night and drive to Vegas and got married on the Strip after 6 months of dating and 9 of knowing each other. The ink is barely dry on my divorce papers from version 1, but no matter, I'm in love. My family likes her overall. Her family loves me. We adopt cats. We talk about trying to have a kid. We upgrade our life and take on more debt. Just as the housing bubble bursts and the economy tanks, she loses a couple jobs due to her inability to show up on Mondays. And I start losing clients as the ones I have start cutting their advertising budget. My field. Things start to get pinched, and she first starts complaining, then gets petulant because now we can't spend the way we used to. The quarterly mini vacations dry up, Plus, we're cooking at home instead of going out to eat 4x a week. We basically stopped having sex a little more than a year into the relationship. Didn't realize it then because I was dumb and love blind, but she cheated on me during this period. Realizing what we're up against with our normal bills, plus our credit cards, I go out and get a job bartending at a posh resort, the only other real skill I have at the time that's marketable. I get 2 other part-time gigs to help make ends meet. She still complains and throws me an ultimatum before I even start getting paychecks, laying the blame at my feet. I say fine, screw this then. Had we stuck it out even a few more months, things would have started to turn a financial corner. Instead, she goes full two-faced, mean-spirited bitch on me. The night we first fight, she attempts suicide by scratching her wrist with a Leatherman, then calls 911, gets admitted to the hospital. I arrive home to cops telling me this, and has the security guard toss me when I show up to see if she's okay because she doesn't want to talk to me. I use the quotes because there was a small collection of firearms nearby I bought for her target shooting hobby, which were untouched. So it was obviously just a ploy for attention. We basically fight for the next week. I give her everything she wants, which includes leaving the house, signing over my new truck to her, and only taking stuff I brought into the relationship, basically enough to fill a small storage space. She's financially pinched, so I sell my office furniture for cash and don't even touch the bank account. Just take my biz money and 1 card I got separate from her. I go to the Bay Area for a few months, financially struggle, don't get the job I was sure was on lock. During this time, I have this revelation one evening. I drink too much and that it's caused a load of problems in my life. So I quit, and I haven't touched a drop since. Broke, and realizing nothing I try is working, I come back to town, live with my dad for a month, find a roommate, then a shit retail job. My business has dropped from 7 to 8,000 per month at its height to now around 500 a month. I bike everywhere because I can't afford a car, and my credit is toast, partially due to her love of spending on plastic, so I'm facing bankruptcy. I'm 31, and this is really humbling, but whatever. I'm alive, have dealt with hardship before. This won't last forever. She has kept her house, declared personal BK on her debts, keeps her car, and has been dating a series of men starting a couple weeks after we split. While I never asked the details, apparently, she's also reached out to a few of my friends and badmouthed me a bit. This would be mildly annoying, but add in 2 factors. She's dragging her feet on the divorce due to not having money to file, keeps up contact on the pretense of us needing to talk, but plays emotionally manipulative head games during the whole sequence. I've realized I still love you. That's why you can make me cry so easily. And other bullshit Hallmark movie lines like this. Also, we live in a suburb that's smaller and tightly knit, so multiple places I go to, like my church, the bookstore I frequent, and the coffee shop right by my place. She talks endless shit to people, says I was a cheater and physically and emotionally abusive. Complete crap. But whatever. I'm stalking her. I supposedly stole tens of thousands of dollars from her. The whole 9. Some people actually believe her. I even get threatened by a wannabe biker one night that's literally twice my age with violence. Itself a funny story, but not the point. Finally, after some more bullshit and back and forth, she leaves town. More falsehoods around this, including her borrowing a bit of money she didn't end up paying back and sticking me with a massive overage on our cell bill right before we split the account. My dumb, trusting heart hurts, but I'm mostly relieved to see the last of her, realizing she's only nice to me when she wants something. She goes to New York to shack up with another guy, gets pregnant 15 minutes later, finally sends me divorce paperwork. I sign it and send back quickly, all notarized docs, everything organized and flagged. She attempts to be friends and I want no part of this BS. I'm businesslike. She gets upset. She screws up filing, blames me. I say whatever, straighten out the court issues. 1 week after the divorce is finalized, the kid is born. No word from her after that for 2 years. Thank God. I get a new career, start advancing in it, and start dating a new woman that I'm still with 10 years later. Weirdly enough, they knew each other, and she didn't like her. Partially because one of my ex's infidelity partners was her ex-husband, during a time they were exploring patching things up for the kids' sake, though there were multiple reasons for her distrust. Apparently, she always gave my wife an icky, intuitive feeling. So flash forward 2 years. I get a call from my current squeeze. She's just talked to a friend who was also a very brief roomie of her after our split. She's breaking up with the baby daddy. There's a custody fight. He's saying he doesn't know if it's his. Will I help her? Well, it's the right thing to do, so even though I don't trust or particularly like her, I say yes. I get the call and a sob story. Most of it doesn't add up. He took the kid, but thinks it's actually mine. To prove paternity, I'd need to come to New York and take a paternity test at one of their facilities. Also, he hit her, put a GPS tracker on her car. Brother is a Russian mobster who threatened her, all very far-fetched. Needless to say, even without this fanciful tale, I generally assume if this woman is talking, it's a lie, so I'm suspicious. Her lawyer calls me and seems like a clueless schmuck. I get a letter from him, very unprofessional, and not even on a letterhead. Every other legal doc I've seen has "from the law offices of blah blah" on it, but this is literally just off a laser printer and says, verbatim, IOP, am the ex-husband of cheating hoe and was married to her from 607 to 809. I have no legal interest in the child. Super shady. Not wanting to end up in a situation where I've allowed myself to be legally fucked over, I make my own lawyer consultation appointment. Before I can even go, the baby daddy finds me on Facebook and sends me a message. Between calls with him, his lawyer, and the impartial lawyer New York State appoints for the child's welfare, I get a very different story. He knows it's his. He had a paternity test done on the sly at birth because she had been promiscuous before they got together, and she was pregnant so quickly he was concerned. They broke up because she was drinking too much. He busted her with a bottle of vodka as she was driving with the kid in the car. She stood up in court, claimed I was actually the father, and she had no idea where to find me. He found me in 10 seconds online. I'm a tech guy with massive social media presence, a tech blog, multiple writing credits on publications, my frigging name as a domain, plus I've had the same cell phone number for 14 years. Also, the other BS was just that. He's an IT guy for a university, and his brother works for a carpet cleaning chain. Plus, just like in our relationship, he never hit or stalked her, etc. So she, not knowing what I know, starts sending me text messages. I say, filled out and on its way back to your lawyer, and toss it in the trash. I'm so tempted to send her some poetic message about how the truth is coming back to haunt her, but I resist because I'm not doing this for her, but rather for the sake of their son and his father. So let's keep my ego out of it. I provide legal statements to all in the court. Tell them I know it's not possibly mine because I hadn't been with her since April 15 of 2008. Kid's birthday is in September of 2009. I remember the date because, due to taxes, I got fucked twice that day. Explain when she was in New York, which is the likely dates of conception. Prove I was thousands of miles away on the West Coast. Tell them to look through her social media, where she meticulously tagged herself and took tons of pictures of even their mundane locations. Provide a blood sample to a local lab. Tell them salacious details about her drinking and occasional drug use, including her abused prescriptions and a previous hospitalization where she was held for psych eval due to taking way too many pills. Court comes and she gets blindsided. Stack of depositions and a collection of statements from me were what sealed the deal, apparently, and the incredibly stupid game she was running is fully exposed. Gets no custody, no support, supervised visitation once a week. I run into her ex-roomie, upset, but instead of giving her attitude, I just calmly tell her the scam X was running, then let her pull out of me the truth about our split. She's flabbergasted, but also a horrible gossip, so it gets around town like wildfire. People I barely know, including the aforementioned biker, all come up to me and apologize for misjudging me. I'm years past the stage of having any morbid curiosity to check her social media, but every few months she pops up as a suggested friend, and I notice bemusedly the number of mutual friends plummets from triple digits to eventually 3. Baby's father sends me a massive Amex gift card for Christmas, as much as I make in a week at the time. I call and tell him I don't know if I can accept it. I don't want him or anyone to think I did this for a reward. He virtually begs, saying, "You helped save my family. This is nothing in comparison. Thank you." We break down crying on the phone and eventually form an odd, distant friendship based on mutual respect for each other. I even had dinner with him a couple times when I had to go to New York for biz over the years. And I always buy because the poor guy has done enough and gone through enough having to co-parent with this train wreck. To this day, she's apparently struggling to stay sober, alcohol and other substances, and has minimal involvement in her child's life due to her inability to show up when expected. Baby daddy tells me she's been in legal trouble, financial issues up the ass, and a string of boyfriends that never last more than a few months. I'm doing well. Got married again 3 years ago, raised stepchildren, am reasonably financially successful, and rather like my life. Granted, a large part of this story is just karma in action, but I feel like I did the right thing, wasn't petty, and what I did do hit her where it hurts. TLDR, ex-wife fucks my life, destroys me financially, tries to trash my reputation, then tries to use me as a scheme in her custody battle years later. I talk to the court directly, work with the baby daddy's lawyers, and get her exposed for the psycho, lying wench she is. She loses custody, struggles, and the good people live mostly happily ever after.
OP, you and the baby daddy did well to survive this situation. She destroyed her life and tried to take everyone else down with her.